The Spire of the Watcher, Aramis, the Witness, and Project Echo. We've learned a lot in a short span of time, but how all these pieces fit together is still quite a mystery. Welcome back, Guardians, to another Vanguard report. Kaz PhD here. Today's video is a little different. Normally, I bring you detailed, specific reporting of what happened, alongside my own perspective and analysis of the situation. Today, I wanted to simply ask questions and review our situation. Normally, I leave spinfoil theories to others more interested, instead choosing to listen and wait until a clear path can be seen ahead. However, there are so many elements at play, and I want to provide some insight and speculation of my own to help in the theorizing. This video is the third in a series which began investigating the Spire of the Watcher dungeon, and as such, I think it is appropriate to begin there. As a recap, we have learned that the dungeon was one of several Seraph bunkers, coordinating a program developed during the Golden Age. Clovis Bray and Dr. Maya Sundaresh, exceptional scientists at the time, were working together to help ensure humankind's survival. They had developed a program by which they could map out habitable worlds in other solar systems and galaxies, and send off cryogenically frozen people to set up new colonies there. However, when the artificial intelligence they had created for this program, named Soteria, noted an anomaly among the stars that seemed to drastically reduce the likelihood of Echo's survival, the AI tried to launch the test early. Clovis shut the program down and fragmented Soteria's mind. The dungeon was one of those facilities, and one of the last places Soteria's mind came to rest. As I reported before, while exploring the dungeon, one could find evidence of audio logs left by Aramis. A link to those logs would be left below for reference, but essentially, the logs detail Aramis's frustration with us, the traveler, even the witness. Here, she almost appears sympathetic, worried that another collapse may come and, like her, like many of the Elixni, that we would be washed away, destroyed, and left adrift should the worst happen. All of this raises several questions. First, what were the Vex doing in this dungeon? Well, given they were sole divisive Vex, notably those who protect the Garden of Salvation, it seems clear that these Vex now work more or less directly for the Witness. Ample evidence exists across logs, text, and other sources to suggest this. This raises a concern. If the sole divisive Vex are working for the Witness, what about the rest of the Vex? Are they simply trying to remake the universe in their own image? We still don't know exactly where they came from, or if they have specific goals or invasion plans in mind. Next, what was Aramis doing in the dungeon, and related, how did she even get there? It took my fire team significant effort to breach the dungeon and make our way to the top, and yet Aramis left logs throughout? There was no other evidence that she was there. No indication of combat, Elixni tech, stasis remnants, nothing. She simply left breadcrumbs for us, specifically us, to find, and left. Impressive. And if she can do that, where else could she go unnoticed? Following, what is Aramis up to? What are her goals? Last season she seemed bent on serving the Witness, but plenty of communication and logs indicating a reluctance there. Perhaps she had no choice, or perhaps she felt like she had no choice. Call me naive, but I really did feel like she might come over to House Light. I know, but it's not just wishful thinking. I understand some of the depth of her despair. How can you forgive someone who left, who abandoned an entire race of people? A wordless god who raised your world and then left for it to be razed asunder. But Aramis's actions have been that of a caregiver, a leader, someone fighting to protect and ensure that the Elixni survive. Her commitment to stasis was her undoing when we first met on Europa, and perhaps siding with the Witness was the only way to break free. but I suspect she feels she has traded one servitude for another. Speaking of which, one of the more interesting audio logs left by Aramis in the Spire dungeon was referring to Rasputin. While denouncing the worship of gods such as the Traveler and the Witness, Aramis suggested that humanity once did the same, denounced their gods and built a new one. And while Clovis Bray may have an ego large enough to aspire to being humanity's new god, I am confident that Aramis was speaking of the Warmind. This season, special operations have been coordinated by the Vanguard to infiltrate Seraph bunkers in order to recover data. This data is meant to bring about the reintegration and restoration of Rasputin. I don't know which concerns me more. The idea of bringing an incredibly powerful Warmind network, capable of building enough missiles to take down the Almighty, back online with little understanding of how we will work together? Or the fact that, seemingly for the first time, the entire living Bray family, Anna, Elsie, and Clovis, all agree on something. Anna and Elsie are convinced that Rasputin will be able to help. Anna especially cares for the Warmind and believes that her work has helped Rasputin develop into something else. Not just a satellite network, not a cold, calculating machine, but maybe a person? Capable of emotional intelligence? I've looked at this theme before from many angles. Let's run the numbers, shall we? During the time of the collapse, reports indicate that Rasputin took a martial law approach. Exodus Green, the ship of colonists who would eventually become the Awoken, were ordered to turn back by Rasputin. The station of Kraken Mare on Titan was devastated, caught between a god wave and Rasputin's amoral actions. Let's not forget that Rasputin wiped out the Iron Lords just to prevent its own secrets falling into humanity's hands, or those of Lightbearers. Yes, the Warmind has apologized for this, and yes, Season of Worthy did show us that it wanted to work together. But the fact is, for most of its operation, Rasputin has acted purely on programming, calculation, before compassion. And maybe that was a good thing? We were not there. We were not privy to the data Rasputin was. It was trying to save us, and doing so in the most efficient way possible. But efficiency can lead to utilitarian decisions which serve the greater number, but ignore the rest. Perhaps Anna is right, and that she has successfully helped Rasputin develop emotions and compassion. Perhaps Rasputin, when brought online, will not only work to our survival, but work with us and care about the people it is protecting. However, maybe those emotions are not such a good idea. Compassion, emotion, these can be swayed. These can act rashly, vengefully, and lives can be snuffed out in violence just as easily. In the end, we can only allow ourselves a little second-guessing, an examination of the scenarios we face, but no more, lest we grind ourselves to a halt in our concern. With luck and effort from our fellow Seraphs, Rasputin will be brought back online, and hopefully this time it works with us, not against us, above us, or around us. Anna and Elsie's motivations are clear, but what about Clovis? Honestly, Clovis is so arrogant, but yet so focused on ensuring his own legacy, that my main concern is that he will work with us until such a time as he can become the new Rasputin. He's already in the frame Anna has been developing for Rasputin. He already believes he is our savior and the only one who can lead us into a second golden age. So that's my concern with him. Will he go back to Europa once this is over? Next, Savathun, Xivu Arath, and the Witness. I won't spend too long on Savathun. She has not been seen since the events of her campaign. Her throne world persists, and so too does her ghost Umaru. I've heard Guardians questioning, where is she? Why hasn't she been revived? Well, the rules and limits defining the capability of ghosts are still mysteries to us, not clearly defined or understood. But there may be logistical reasons Umaru has not backed Savathun. Perhaps he needs to be close to her body, which he cannot, as her body has been safely kept under Vanguard jurisdiction. Perhaps he is simply choosing not to revive her. Maybe he is waiting for the right time, or maybe he is ambitious and believes himself to be better in charge of things on her throne world. I posit one more loose theory here. Perhaps Eris has done something. Just before Season of Haunted, Eris was performing an autopsy on Savathûn. There, she found hive sigils actually carved into the Witch Queen's flesh. Perhaps something was done to sever or block the connection between Savathûn and her ghost, and maybe that's why she hasn't come back. Eris hasn't been very clear on this point with me. By the way, a fellow Guardian has conducted a very illuminating analysis on the arcane as it exists in our world of Destiny, related to this point, and I highly recommend you check it out. Link below. Xivu Arath. Where is she? Well, we've heard plenty from Marasov that Xivu's forces assemble in the Ascended Plane. There, it appears she is building her armies and waiting for the right moment to strike out into our worlds. I spoke on this a year ago, at the time of exploring the ley lines, searching for the Reef's Techians. I speculated that we might be able to use the Ascended Plane to find and recover the worlds we have lost to the Witness. It appears Xivu Arath has long held to this strategy, and according to Empress Keitel, was how the Cabal homeworld, Tora Bottle, fell. Fellow lore guide, my name is Bife, has a great video on this. Check it out, and keep your eyes open for the Black Terrace. Finally, the Witness. What is it doing? Evidence suggests that the Vex attempting to breach the Spire dungeon were sent by the Witness. But why? What was it looking for? There is evidence that a piece of Soteria, the AI, persisted, remained, somewhere with azure clouds, somewhere we may go soon. But why does the Witness care? Even if a piece remained, even if Project Echo lived on, and there were many people living, surviving, somewhere among the stars, why would that be of a concern for the Witness? A lot of assumptions, but at the time, we currently assume that the Witness is trying to drive the universe toward the final shape, where everything that was too weak to survive fell to something stronger. It is apparently the only logical end to the game of existence, and the Witness is trying to bring about that end. Normally, when a villain is pursuing something, it is because a power or tool or force there could be used to further the villain's goals. For example, when the Cabal invaded during the Red War, their goal was invasion, and they struck the Traveler first to bring about the surest path to success. Is there some kind of power out there we don't know of? Something that could give the Witness even more dominance over everything? I think it odd to even consider that. The Witness is supposed to be one of the two primeval forces in the universe. What need does a god have with a colony, or power, or starship? Another possibility. The Witness may be acting preventatively. Instead of searching for a power to acquire, it may be searching for one to destroy. Something that could stand to resist the Witness, perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe the Witness is simply being thorough, and remembers how non-thoroughly the last collapse was. Rather than wipe us out, the Witness only believed that it did. Perhaps it is coming to finish the job, and wants to do so thoroughly, leave no civilization unturned. There is good news with any reading of the Witness here. If the Witness is searching for power, risks, or new colonies, in any case, it shows us that the Witness is not all-powerful, not fully invincible. There are gaps, either in its knowledge or capabilities, which can be exploited. The fight to come will be terrifying, but if there's even a chance that we can prevail, it is much more hope than we could have asked for. Going back to an old video I put out, speculating on the grand theory of our destiny, I believe that the Witness is not all-powerful, even via the darkness. I believe that the Witness is the result of the Winnower putting itself into the game. A quick rereading of the Book of Unveiling supports the idea that the Gardener and Winnower, the two prime forces existing before the universe, put themselves into the game of life, and doing so, I believe, left them vulnerable. Like a spectator now forced to play the game, their capabilities are lessened somehow. That, I believe, may be the prime reason for the Witness's delay and current activities. It is searching for a way to win, or not lose. In any case, that is a lot of speculation. My hope here was not to provide numerous possible futures to consider, that's Osiris's domain, but rather to examine the players at hand and provide a refresher on what we know and where we are. Hopefully, as you continue as a Guardian, your spinfoil theories will have more merit, grounded by history and stronger assumptions. Hopefully, I have helped provide perspective, which will certainly come in handy in the days ahead. In any case, this concludes my video and series on the Spire of the Dungeon, and related thoughts. I hope you've enjoyed and found it useful. As always, for more communiques such as this, be sure to subscribe, like, and even consider joining our Discord and Twitch channels below. We love having these conversations and building our understanding together. Thank you all for watching and listening, and as always, I hope that you be safe, be kind, and I'll see you all next time. Bye now.